Hey everyone, welcome to day 76. Today I'm going to be talking about fixing your side angle pose as well as your reverse warrior. This is from my friend Katie, who requested it on my Instagram, so I'm doing this one for you. Alright, so if you aren't already next to a wall, bring your mat near a wall or your body near a wall. You don't necessarily need a mat because we're going to be just standing and doing this. And then whatever your substitute for a block is with you. So essentially, during the side angle pose and your extended warrior pose, what you want to do is make sure that you're really locked in place with your pelvis and your lower body, because that's going to be your anchor. And then the moving portion is going to be your torso, okay, sideways, right and left, over a really stable, structured lower body and pelvis. So the way we're going to make sure that that is happening is by taking the block and putting it, like I'm putting it directly on the center of my kneecap here. And I have a kind of softish block, so it's not bothering me. But if you're using a substitute that feels really hard for you to press into, make sure you take a towel and put it there. And the length of this block is about the length of, a little longer than the length of my foot. Okay, so keeping this block there as a little bit of a feedback to understand how your body should feel, you're going to turn that back foot into 45 degrees, and now just glance at the back foot to make sure that you're not collapsing into your inner arch. So you want to make sure that the outer edge of your foot is kind of like pressing down into the floor, and that your foot doesn't feel flat. There's like a little bit of like a very gentle lift upward in the arches of your feet. You can do that with your front foot too, but it's more important for the back foot here just because the position that it's in will allow it to turn in. Okay, and normally we start in a warrior two. Obviously I can't extend my fingers straight, but that's okay. And now keeping the block in place, I'm going to squeeze my two sit bones together underneath me, bringing those 2 points together. Obviously, they're not going to meet together, but that's the intention, is to kind of gather the pelvis and the hips here. And as you do that, you should also start to feel an opening and a nice stretch in your inner thighs and your groin area. So keeping that sensation, now remember, we're moving the torso over stable legs. You're going to reach up and back. And for this one, I like to bend my elbow and reach the pointy part of my elbow up towards the ceiling so that I feel this line of fascia or tension in here. Okay? And my fingers are super important in yoga, as are my toes, because that's what's really going to give you that extra sort of oomph. If you leave your hand kind of dead, it's not going to create the same amount of intensity that you might be looking for. All right, so this is your reverse warrior. And then as you come into an extended side angle, you want to make a nice diagonal all the way from the outer edge of that foot towards the hand and fingers, again, livening the fingers up. And I'm making sure that my shoulder, the right side, the one on my thigh, isn't shrugging up to my ear, so I'm pressing it away. And just by doing that, I can also feel my abdominals engage. And you can very gently start to lighten up how much you're pressing down into this arm, and you should feel your abdominals light up. All right, so again, we're squeezing those two sit bone points together, reaching up and over with the torso, and then you can reverse it again. bending the elbow, and then making a nice straight line. All right, and now let's try it without the block on the other side. So I'm just gonna face this direction. Back foot is pointed to 45 degrees. I'm bending my knee so that my knee is over my ankle. And I'm squeezing those two sit bones towards each other through the midline. Okay, so really squeeze your buttock. You should feel the groin opening. And then adjust your legs again for a moment. Maybe you need to re-bend it a little bit. Arms come out into your warrior two. Enliven your fingers. And then reach that right hand down that back leg without moving your legs. And then reach the elbow up to the ceiling to feel this line stretching. Liven your fingers. And then again, bring that torso down without moving the legs up and over. Liven those fingers, trying not to slump down into your left shoulder. And then you can reverse it again. Keep pulling those two hip points together or your sit bones together, reaching up and over. Okay? So essentially the point is again, pelvis and legs are your anchor, and then you're moving the torso over that anchor. So I hope that makes sense, and let me know what you thought. Thanks. Bye.